If other questions arise, do post them in the chat and I'll add it to the queue, and hopefully we'll review a lot of it. Okay, so as a reminder, you have your 15 multiple choice due on Friday along with a for each loop worksheet. The 15 multiple choice questions comes from the course description. This is the most accurate guide to the current AP exam. And as a student, it doesn't hurt to read through it from time to time, or if you're stuck on a topic, read through what the course description has to say on it. It gives you everything you need to know. Although the audience is geared more towards teachers, it still has all the facts and knowledge useful for you as a student. Here's the little template that you're filling out to record your answers for those 15 multiple choice questions. There are more spots needed, or there's extra spaces. You only use 15 of them. That's okay. Remember to answer 3 reflection questions on mistakes that you've made. Even I got a couple of these wrong when I was looking through it. Okay. And so this was yesterday's, or 2 days ago slide. This 40 question multiple choice exam has been released on AP Classroom. So it is a full-length multiple choice like example thing in the College Board's AP Classroom. So go check that out. I've assigned it, and I didn't put a due date on there. This 40 question multiple choice exam, you need to use the College Board app thing, the lockdown browser, in order to take it. So make sure you have that installed. I haven't gotten any emails asking for help, but if you need help, email me and I'll try to get it working. You can screen share. You as a student, your view of these apps is much different than me. I'm not sure how Mr. Simon even grabbed these screenshots, because when I tried to sign in, I'm like not taking any AP exams, so I don't see anything. It's not particularly useful. Which one is actually being used? So yes, I think this lockdown browser is the one you're using for the actual AP test. Can anyone confirm that or set a comment on it otherwise? Like from your other AP classes? Have they pointed you to the lockdown browser thing? Okay, so at the moment, I think so. I downloaded it. It looks like this. There's a little acorn on it. Looks like that, right? 2021 digital AP exams. So you open it, you have to sign in with your College Board account, and then it gives you current exams and past exams, or like exams, and then they have practice. My interface isn't very useful because it doesn't show that I'm enrolled in any exams. I don't even know if it's the right app. So if you can open this practice exam in AP Classroom, then you're in the right spot. And you'll see, oh, this is graded more for completion and more so for the mistakes of your reflections, those 3 things. The answers are already posted and stuff, so correctness isn't really the priority here. I just want evidence to see that you thought through it, your first take, you got 1 or 2 things wrong, you went back and revisited your mistakes. I think so, Stanley. You may want to confirm. So go to AP Classroom and click Begin. I think this is the student end, and see if it opens that app. If it is, then that's probably the same thing you'll use for the actual AP exam. Try it out. I unfortunately can't confirm because I'm not a student, so I need you guys to help me out there. So can you do that, Stanley? Okay, cool, it's there. I know there's currently some confusion because there's like the practice app thing, and then there's the actual like lockdown browser thing that you'll be taking your AP test on. I think the 2 are different. At least that's what Mr. Simon's telling me. Right, so once you got that thing down, Notice that this interface is what you'll be using for the AP exam. You got some questions along the top. There's 40 total. I think I can show this part. So like, yours should be very similar to mine. My teacher interface looks a little different. I have access to more things, older exams that I haven't released. So if I click on this, the interface should look just like yours. So this little window pops up. I don't have the lockdown browser, but you'll see at least the formatting. Come on. Okay. Questions will load. Notice some questions are connected. You browse up here, skip around, 40 questions total. There's 40. I've skipped all the way to the end. There's this little gear, accessibility. There's options. Oh, these are teacher options, but you should be able to mark and highlight, I think. About how you do that. So click around and learn these tools that are available. Okay. Change font size, change color scheme. I kind of like the font to be bigger. Okay. Perhaps I'm clicking too fast for it to keep up. My computer's fans are blaring now. Maybe that's just me. Clear my annotations on here. Alright, so that's been released, and that practice is up there for you. Ideally, you spend 2 minutes per question, 90 minutes is what you're allotted. Try to give yourself that environment. The 40 question exam, you are allowed to pause, stop, come back to it, revisit it after you're done and all that. If ever you have a problem, I can make another copy of that same exam for you in case like something goes wrong or you can't access it again. Just email me and let me know. Yep, and so once you start, you'll have a continue. I don't have a due date on it, so I think you can keep accessing it forever. Tell me otherwise. If I do need to set a due date, I'll put it like way after in like July or something. Right. While we're in AP Classroom, notice that they have the College Board prescribed units to practice. The ones of note are for each loops appear in Unit 4, so you may want to browse through a couple questions there, do those progress checks. And super, related to objects, is in Unit 9, and inheritance. So 5 and 9 are object-related ones. 2 is not so bad, it's reading objects. I think you're okay with that. 5 and 9, if you're feeling iffy about objects, you may want to explore those units and answer those questions. And all these progress checks are available. I see that a couple people did the later couple questions or units in the practice. I got like 3-4% of people doing it, so that's good. Pace yourselves. Lots of practices available. All right, so this is the thing that I believe is a separate app. This thing. I don't know whether or not it's the same as the secure browser. Mr. Simon says it's different. And this thing gives you repeated questions from that 40 multiple choice exam. So use this tool as more of a practice on clicking around. It gives you an FRQ, and if you want to test yourselves on the formatting, it even gives you a little break in between the multiple choice section and the FRQ portion. So you can not be caught off guard when you're actually taking the exam on the transitions and whatnot. Okay, so when you download that app as a student, like I don't even know how Mr. Simon did this. I can't get these two things to appear right now. I perhaps have to make another account and enroll as a student. So mine's are currently blank, but yours might look like this when you sign in. Use them to just navigate around the app, less so focused on the questions. If you did the 40 multiple choice first, the questions will be repeated. If you did these 10 or these 5, you'll see these 10 or 5 questions again on the 40 multiple choice. They're repeats, unfortunately. Okay, so some more details on this. One caveat is that I think one of these you can only do once, and then you can't go back to it. Something like that. I forgot which one it is. Mr. Simon mentioned something. So there's your breakdown of the exam, and I think that's all I need to say. These ones, I don't know whether or not they're up to date. Once you finish the digital practice, this student got his answers in a file to check with the key. Ah, there we go. Yep. So this practice is not great. They don't let you revisit said questions. So there's the one-time take thing, which is unfortunate. On the positive side, though, knowing that it's repeated in the 40 multiple choice, I can assign you that exam again and again. So you can take your time with it, revisit the questions, and find out which ones you got wrong and stuff. So rest assured, you will see those questions again. Don't freak out if you can't access the digital practice stuff. But thanks for letting me know. Right. So that's all the logistics that I have to tell you. Lots of practice available. Maybe carve out some time this weekend to practice it. I know you've got a lot on your plate as juniors and seniors. At this point, for those that haven't visited, haven't looked at 13, 14, or 15, you might want to unplug your headset or put me on mute or whatever it is, as to not get spoilers on these questions. I'll talk through 13, 14, then 15 from the 15 questions due this Friday. Double check my recording to make sure I get my annotations. Yep, it's there. Okay. I don't want the red, I want pink. Okay, so we have a 2D array question. It looks like I have 3 rows and 4 columns in my array. I see a sum. Oh, nice. And there's a for each loop. So we got some new stuff that reviews here. This for each loop looks kind of funny, right? Because you're working with arrays of arrays, the element inside your 2D array is a 1D array. So the declaration here looks a little funny, at least with the outer loop. It works just like the nested loops we have been working with. X is the outer loop, it controls the number of rows. Rows, then columns, rows, then columns. Inner loop, okay, that's something more familiar. We have our standard for loop. Y helps me count the columns. It goes up until the length of each individual array, and we add 1. And then sum plus equals x of y. Okay, so this is adding up each of the elements into a sum, one array at a time. It asks you, what is the value of sum as a result of this executed code segment? So, let's see. One would think you add up 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, all these things up, you will get, but let's see, this gives me 10, 15, 21, 28, 36, 45, 50, oh, wait, there we go. Knew I was missing something, because already, as I was counting, I was thinking in my head, oh, I just add up all the numbers. But then I'm like, wait a second, I have answers that are smaller, right? And there's answers that are bigger. It does a length minus 1 here, and they also do strictly less than. So I seem to be actually cutting off some numbers here. If I wanted to access every single element of the array, I wouldn't have this minus 1. I'd stop right before I got to length, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3. The length is 4, so I stop at 3. But in this case, 0, 1, 2, 3, I have 4 elements in my array. Length minus 1 actually means I stop right at 3. So actually I ignore the last 3 numbers in each of these arrays. So I should be summing up these things. Let's see. Clear. So if I'm adding up 1, 3, 6, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, that gives me 6, 11, 17, 24, 33, 43, 54. kind of nasty, isn't it? First they throw some for each loop at you, and then they throw in this very easy mistake to make. Strictly less than and also -1 means we don't visit each element. The answer here is 53. Tricky. I was very tempted to add them all up. All right, clear, 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 clear. Moving on to 14. We have an object-related question. No, not even. This is the recursion. Oh, okay. So I'm looking at this and I'm already like, goodness, they use inheritance. I see the extends keyword. I see constructors. No, this is an object question. It's not the recursion question just yet. Thing 2 extends thing 1. Calc is the function that's inside. It's a member function. I don't have a constructor. Yep, no constructor. So they used the built-in one. The following code segment appears in a class other than thing1 or thing2. Thing1 of t equals new thing2. t.calc2. T is of type, gosh, what's it called? I'm trying to think of the word, what's it called? There's a fancy word for this kind of question. Polymorphism, that's the word. Because thing1 is inherited, no, thing2 is derived from thing1. Thing1 is the parent, thing2 is the child. You can treat them both as if they were thing1s. It's many names for like the same object. That's what allows us to do this seemingly weird declaration of thing1 equals new thing2. Thing2, because of the inheritance relationship, does count as a thing1 object. I hate the names. So then t.calc, we ask ourselves, whose calc function do I call? The left-hand side says we treat it as a thing1 object. Let's see. So then calc2, I will go here. Okay, sorry, I moved my annotation bar. So 2, so that means this value takes in 2. I'm multiplying n. This is saying n equals n times 3, right? Shorthand for that. Right now, I have the value of 6. Yo, but I got it wrong. I'm picking 6, but it's not right. I'm checking the answer key. The answer here should be part D. It should be 124. Can I explain this? Thing1 equals new thing2. What's this idea with polymorphism? What's my misconception here? So T should be treated as a thing2 object. My mistake is reading its left-hand side when I should have been approaching it as a thing2 object. I wasn't respecting the right-hand side of this declaration. Like, this is the container, and this is the thing actually inside of it. It's kind of like I mixed up the index and the element at that index, you know? So I should have treated this as a thing2 object. Thing2's calc should have been called with argument 2, in which case I would be adding 2 to n. So right now n is equal to 4 after this first line runs. Then with the value of 4, super.calc, we know what that does. It goes up here. So I multiply 4 by 3. I've updated my value up to 12. But first I have to print out 12 from the base class, right? So the print that occurs currently, my output here is 12. Then I finish this line, I finish this line. I go out and print one more time the value of n. In this case, it was last 4. That's why the answer here should be letter D. So if I were writing a little reflection about it, I would say, at first I thought the answer was 6. I treated the T object as a thing 1 when I should have treated it as a thing 2. The emphasis here was respecting the new keyword. T is a thing 2 object, although I'm fitting it into a thing 1 variable. Then I'd probably review about polymorphism and find a similar example and then write another sentence about why I made that mistake. Is that helpful? Questions? All right, so then we have 15. Double check the time. I'm doing okay. Scroll down. Can I fit it all onto one screen? Okay, so which, if any, of the following changes to mystery 2 is required so that the two methods work as intended? Oh, great. All right, so then here I'm considering the following methods, which are intended to return the same values when they are called with the same positive integer parameter n. Oh, great. We have a recursive call, mystery 1. We have a while loop that is doing some stuff in mystery 2. Let's see. So to get a sense of what's happening in this function, let me go ahead and pick a random positive number. Not too big, but I want to get a sense of what's going on, so I'm thinking maybe I'll try the number 3. Okay. First, to test out the recursion, let's see what it spits out. 3 is in fact bigger than 1, so then I recurse. So this is n equals 3. I do 5 plus mystery of 2. And n equals 2, it's still bigger than 1, so I do 5 plus mystery of 1. Then when n equals to 1, I no longer recurse, I hit my base case, so I return 1. Okay, that gets filled in, so n, the call from here gives me the number 6. That gets put up to here. I get the value 11 out of this function call. When mystery 1 is called of 3, I get an output of 11. Interesting. And from looking at it, if I called it 4, it would probably just add on another 5. So 4, mystery 1 of 4 gives me 16. Mystery of 5 gives me 21. So whatever equation that maps to, I'm going to scroll down and let's see if the next function using a while loop does something similar. I want to leave my annotations up because I find that they may be useful later. I wouldn't erase this if I was doing it by pen and paper. Mystery 2. Okay, let's do that same thing. Perhaps I'll change colors to brown. So now I'm doing mystery 2, okay, with that same 3 as an input. And let's see what happens. Total equals 0, x equals 1, x is my counter. I need to go up to 3. Total equals plus equals 5. So total in the first loop, okay, same kind of tracking. X starts at 1. Total equals 6. X increases to 2. My loop repeats as 2 is still less than 3. So then my total gets a 5 added to it. I get 11. K increases to be 3. That's when I stop. So then my total that gets returned is 11. Total starts at 0. Shouldn't it be 6? Did I mess up? I added it to x. You're completely right. I'm 1 off at the moment. Sorry. Good catch. I already made a mistake. So here, thank you. Total started off as x is 0, total, I guess, let me try to make it a bit more clean. Total equals 0, x equals 1, I add 5 to it. Total here equals 10, I return the number 10. So we see there's the difference, right? This thing didn't account for starting at 1. The base case in the recursion part, it's missing from mystery 2. I gave 10 instead of 11. You can also check, like you should definitely walk through mystery, put in the number 2, put in the number 1, and see that mismatch. I think we know enough now to look at the other answer choices. So what kind of changes can we make to mystery 2 so that it returns, so that it matches? Variable total should be initialized 1. I think that works. Let's see. If n was equal to 1, nothing would happen, and you would return total, return 1. Yeah, A looks pretty good so far, but let's explore these other options. Mystery of 2, if total is equal to 1, yeah, seems to fix it. My 3 thing would be updated, that's great. The x variable should be initialized to 0. I think that puts us 1 over. If you see how I laid out my work along the side for the while loop, it makes it easy for me to track this kind of stuff. I stopped at 3 and didn't add on, but I was really close to getting my 11. That's okay, because my input was still 3. Had I started at 0, I'd actually go 1 over, so B is definitely not an option. Mystery 2 would then be 1 ahead. The condition for the while loop header should be x is less than n minus 1. Well, that still doesn't fix our initial problem. We're always 1 off. This one would put it n minus 1. This would make it 1 short. C doesn't look too good. The header means the stuff inside the while loop. The condition in the while loop header should be x is less than or equal to n. It would still, this thing would cause our loop to go 1 more than mystery 1. Also not a good idea. No change was required because they're currently returning the same thing. We know E is definitely not the right option. So in the way that I laid out my work, it becomes kind of easy for you to go back in and make these changes. Notice how I kept track of my variables. If I wanted to test this code, have an organized way for you to backtrack. Useful in recursion, also useful for a loop. The answer here is A. Double check the answer key, it's A. Comments? If you didn't get mistakes on the 15, then you could reach out elsewhere. Like, let's say you're working on your reflection, you only got 2 wrong. Go find some other kind of multiple choice question and write about that one and why you got it wrong. That's fair game to me. I'm expecting people to make at least 3 mistakes in these 15 questions. I already made 1 in this. Yeah, and then you can turn it in, yes. Give me a screenshot. Like if you pull a question from the progress check, take a screenshot of the progress check question you're reflecting about, paste it in so I can read it over. Okay, so that's it for today's class. Asynchronous work is to do the stuff. See you guys on Monday. Have a good one.
Thank you.
See you later.
Mr. Chan, I had a question about just the responses for the multiple choice.
Yes.
So I got 2 wrong. Do you want me to like see another one and like see?
Yeah. Go explore, like click on a progress check, maybe the one on objects, like units 9 or 10, Try some of those. If you make a mistake there, screenshot it, write like 3 sentences. That's all.
All right, sounds good.
Easy peasy.
Cool. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Noah.
Have a good week.
You too.